Hey campers, welcome to Camp for All. We're so glad to see you. My name is Pat Sorrells. I'm the president and CEO of Camp for All, and I have the best job in the whole world.
Hey campers, my name is Kurt Bedezwa and I'm the camp director at Camp for All, and actually, I have the best job ever.
No, I do.
No, really, it's me.
No, it's
I
me.
have the best job, really. Okay.
Well, okay. But we're glad you're here because our camp is closed right now. It's so sad because it's so beautiful, so green. All the activities are just waiting for our campers. But we're going to come to you virtually this time. So we hope you have a lot of fun. Camp for All is unique in that it is a barrier-free camp. Not just accessible, but barrier-free. We are barrier-free in our food services, in our facilities, our sidewalks, our bathrooms, you name it. Also, we are barrier-free in our activities. So Kurt, why don't you talk about that?
So, because camp isn't open and you can't come here right now, that doesn't mean that we can't do activities. So these virtual activities, you're going to get to make some arts and crafts, learn about barnyard animals, see some horses, maybe even learn how to make an instrument. We're so excited about the things that you're going to get to do. Well, now it's time for some activities, and I'm excited to introduce you to Jacob Garcia. He's one of our program supervisors, and he's in charge of all of our nature animals. We've got Forrest the turtle, Jericho the snake, we've also got a couple of bearded dragons. But today, Jacob is going to introduce you to Myrtle the turtle.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Nature, episode 2. Today we're going to be talking about turtles. So last time we got to talk about tortoises. Some big differences between the two is turtles spend most of their life in the water, as tortoises spend the majority of life on land. Tortoises can grow a lot bigger. So the turtles that we have today are Myrtle and Pebbles. They're both red-eared sliders. Turtles, since they spend most of their life in the water, actually do what they call brumate, and that means when it gets really cold, they'll go all the way down to the deepest part of the water, and they'll sit there, and they can spend a long time in there and hold their breath so that they can try to stay warm as long as possible. So let's go meet some of our friends. Alright, well this is Myrtle. Myrtle, again, is a red-eared slider, as you'll notice. The red on the side of her head there. So a little known fact about turtles is that, like most reptiles, they are ectotherms. That means that their body temperature regulates based on their environment. So you'll see a lot of them will be outside in the wild basking on logs and rocks and stuff, and that's just to stay warm because they need the varying temperatures to regulate their body. You'll know that their lungs are at the top of their shell. So if you were to flip Myrtle upside down, that would be pretty uncomfortable. She wouldn't really be able to breathe very well. At the bottom of the shell, these sections of the shell are called scutes. So red-eared sliders are actually native to this part of the United States and northern parts of Mexico. So these are the kind of turtles that you can find just in your backyard, whatever lake or pond is nearby your house, your neighborhood. You're most likely to find some type of red-eared slider or maybe even a yellow-bellied slider. The only differences between the two is that yellow belly slider isn't going to have red on the sides of their heads, and their belly is going to be more yellow. Out of all the turtles in the United States that are kept as pets, these are the most popular. Turtles like to eat lots of plants, algae, flowers. They really like dandelions. That's all we have for you today.
Hello campers, welcome to Arts and Crafts at Camp for All. This is a favorite place of most of our campers, and we serve nearly 11,000 throughout the year. And they come in here and use all of their creative juices like nobody's business. It is so much fun. Now, this means family camps. This means camps for children with muscular dystrophy or adults. It means campers with cerebral palsy, with HIV/AIDS, cancer, cardiac, renal, HIV. They all come to Camp for All, and they all love arts and crafts. It's a place where they can be totally creative. They can use all of their creative juices. Whatever they create is perfect and wonderful. There is no no in this room, and that's important. And they take it home with them at the end of camp and remember this amazing experience for the rest of the year.
Well, so I know that people have an overabundance of toilet paper right now because that's what people stocked up on. And so we are going to be making these very adorable toilet roll unicorns. And unicorns happen to be my favorite mythical creature. I would say favorite animal, but I know that some people would argue with me that they would not. So, what you need to make these very cute little unicorn dudes is you'll need a toilet paper roll, some paint, whatever color you want your unicorn to be, some paper for the ears, some paper for the horn, or I'm using foam core, just because it's a little bit more sturdy, and I have the benefit of being at camp and having full access to the arts and crafts closet. You'll need glue. I have regular glue, and I also have a glue gun plugged in because that's going to be a little sturdier and help me get through this a little bit faster for you folks. You're going to need scissors. You're going to need a black marker, and some fun colors of yarn, whatever colors you want. Yeah, so those are your supplies. Okay, so the way that we're going to do this is the first thing that we need to do is we need to paint our toilet paper roll. So you're going to take some of your paint. I chose purple because it's one of my favorite colors. I love pink and purple because they do this. So you're going to take, you probably need a paintbrush too. Unless you want to smear it on your hands, which is creative. So do your thing. And it's also fun and tactile. I'm not going to do that though because I don't want to. So the way that I painted this is I painted those guys is I stuck my fingers inside of the toilet paper roll so that way they wouldn't get paint on them. And then you just paint away and try and do a nice even coat of whatever color you want. So this nice lilac. If you have glitter at home, if you want to put glitter on your wet paint, you can. I didn't think about that, and now I have a lot of regrets. But that's okay. Okay, so you're gonna put your drying toilet paper roll to the side and just let it dry for a little bit. I cheated and I pre-painted one so that way it would be dry by the time we got here. So here is your unicorn. Now we're gonna start making the unicorn appendages. I don't know, ears and more. Yeah. So the way that you're gonna make your ears is you're gonna take 2 pieces of construction paper, 2 different colors, so that we have like the outside of the ears and the inside of the ears. And you're going to fold the first one in half, and you're going to cut 2 like medium-sized-ish triangle, or you're going to cut 1 medium-sized-ish triangle. But because it's folded in half, you're going to get 2. Oh, great. Now you're going to fold your other piece of paper in half, and you're going to cut 2 smaller triangles that are going to go inside of it. Like a little thinner. Okay. Cool. So now you're going to take some of your regular glue or glue gun or whatever you have, and you're going to put the dot, kind of like swoosh it around a little on your unicorn horns. And then you're going to stick the inside of the ear, or sorry, the ears, and you're going to stick the inside of the ear on top of it. So that way you're just like making a little ear, guys. Yep. Oopsies. And you're just going to set those to dry. And now you're going to cut your horn. So whether you have foam core or whatever you have paper, you're just going to make a nice, tall unicorn. Nice, tall unicorn. And you're going to leave that to the side as well. Okay, so now we need to make the frock, right?
Mm-hmm.
The frock and the tail. So you're gonna take your yarn, whatever colors you want. I chose blue, pink, purple, and orange. And you're gonna take them in your non-dominant hand. And you're gonna take your dominant hand, and you're gonna kind of spread your fingers a little bit. You're gonna wrap just a few times to make a nice, thick hair piece. So you're gonna cut the hair, great, and pull that off of your fingers. Okay, so now you are going to take another piece of yarn, separate piece, and you're going to kind of stick it in, like stick that on top so it's in the middle. And you're going to tie it nice and tight, like that. You can cut out the ends if you want to, no pressure. And now, so we have this. Now this is going to become both the frock and the tail. So you're going to take another little piece of yarn and you're going to tie one of the ends in half. So it's like quarters now, but only on one end. And then you're going to cut in between the two, like this. So you have your tail and your frock. It's like a mini version. And if you want, which I do want, you can cut the loops to make it a little bit fringier. On both sides. Okay. So now we're going to get to gluing some stuff on our uniform. So the first thing that we're going to glue is our frock. Yeah, we're just going to glue it like this, right there.
And is the frock the longer one or the shorter one?
The frock is the shorter one
Okay.
because of this piece. that it's like bananas. Don't pet your bananas in your cord, but just don't do it. So I'm going to use a glue gun so that way it dries a little bit faster. So if you have your adult's permission to do that, just because they're hot and I'm an adult and I've burned myself multiple times. Not today though, learning. So you're going to take your glue and you're going to put a dot of glue on the prop. And then you're going to glue it to the face of your unicorn, the front part, whatever you decide that you want it to be. Here you go. So he's like little bangs right there. Cute, cute, cute. Okay. So now you need to glue your ears and your horn. This is a giant unicorn horn. I'm gonna turn it down a little. Okay. So now you're gonna glue your ears. So I'm gonna use the glue gun again because it's a little bit quicker. So you put a dot of glue. You can use regular glue though at the base of one ear. And you're going to stick it on the inside of the roll next to the bangs, like on the side of the bangs, like that. And then you're going to take your other ear and do the same thing. You're going to do a little dot, and then stick it on one side. So you got 2 ears going. Now you're going to take your horn. Dot of glue. We're running out of glue. That's okay though, because we're almost done. On the base. And stick it in the center. It's a little bit of a lopsided unicorn, but you know what? That's okay because nothing is perfect. Well, I feel like his fringe is a little bit long, but that's okay. So we're gonna take our marker and we're gonna make the eyes now. So our unicorn, I mean, you can get creative because this is art, right? So you can do whatever you want. I'm gonna make a sleepy eyelash unicorn. So I'm going to kind of take the marker and make a nice little eye there, and another nice little eye there. That's like almost even. I'm just gonna give him a thicker brow. So there's our sleepy unicorn. And the last thing our sleepy unicorn needs, I'm going to stick a little bit more glue in here, is the tail. So we're going to take the longer yarn that we made earlier, and we're going to put a dot of glue. It's a bit complicated. Dot of glue right there on the knot part that you drew. And you're going to stick the tail on the unicorn's back. And then you can just present them, him, her, them, like this. And then you have a beautiful unicorn. And you made that out of toilet paper roll, which is great because then you didn't throw it away. You made a fun craft. Okay, so that is what I have for you today. Make sure to clean up after you're done. And that's what I'm going to do right now. And thank you so much for coming to Arts and Crafts with Alice, and we'll see you soon.
As you know, at Camp For All, we are barrier free. And that means a lot of different things, but one of the examples of that is that our sidewalks are not just 5 feet, they're 8 feet wide. So not only can campers who are using wheelchairs pass each other, but 2 campers in the same cabin can be going in the same direction next to each other. The other thing about the sidewalks are that they're concrete. And that's a good surface and makes all the difference for campers who have that mobility need.
Wow, that was a lot of activity. I'm worn out. I'm also really hungry. Let's go to the camper kitchen with Abby. She's going to cook us some lunch.
Teaching Kitchen. My name is Abby, and today we are going to be making individual pizzas. So I'm gonna go over all of the ingredients and everything that you need if you want to cook along with me. But before we do that, we are gonna do the first part of the recipe so that the yeast can activate, because that takes a little bit of time. So we are gonna head over to the sink really quick. But before we start doing anything, we are gonna wash our hands. Okay, so for the yeast, we wanna make sure that the water is warm. It doesn't need to be too hot, that will actually ruin it. So it should just be like your hand can sit in the water comfortably, but it's a little bit warmer than room temperature. So you're gonna take your bowl, and we need 3/4 cups water. So I'm gonna make do here. This is a dry measuring cup, but we're gonna put 3 in this bowl. 2, 3. Okay. And then we are gonna add our yeast, but we're gonna come back to the table. All right, so that was 3/4 cups water. And now we have something called active dry yeast, and this is gonna help the pizza dough rise. And we need 1 tablespoon of this. Should be just about this packet. This is a 1/2 tablespoon right here, so I'm gonna do 2 of these. So there's 1, and then 2, perfect. All right, so then we're just gonna take our whisk and whisk this in and mix it up. And we're gonna let that sit now for about 7 minutes to activate. Awesome, so it probably hasn't been quite 7 minutes, but we're gonna get started anyway. You can see it just kind of turns like a milky color, and you can't smell it at home, but Alice and I can smell it here. You'll kind of smell the yeast starting to activate, and that yeast is just gonna help our dough rise. So we're gonna mix it all together today in real time, and then normally you need to let the dough sit for a while. I made some dough beforehand that we're gonna use for today, but this is a good start, and that yeast is gonna help it rise. So we're gonna move on to the next steps. We are going to add in our olive oil and our honey right now. So for the olive oil, I'm looking at my recipe here, we are going to need 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm gonna go ahead and use just the same measuring spoon that I used earlier. This is a 1/2 tablespoon, and we need 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm gonna do 3 of these into this bowl. And I'm gonna count out loud. 1, 2, 3. If I don't count out loud, sometimes I forget how many I've done. So that's a trick for me. The next is the honey. So we need a 1/2 tablespoon of honey. So I'm gonna just use the same thing. It's all going into the same bowl. We're gonna do a 1/2 tablespoon of honey. And if you want, you can save some of this honey and dip your pizza crust into it when it's done. I'm gonna just set this to the side. We will clean up everything at the end. So now that you have those ingredients added, I'm just gonna whisk it in this bowl here. The oil is not gonna really mix that well into this, but we'll kind of get it going anyway. All right, so you can kind of see that it's all mixed together. And now we're gonna start adding our dry ingredients. So our dry ingredients for the dough is gonna be our salt and our flour. I'm gonna use gluten-free flour for this one because my friend Ian is gluten-free and he's gonna be eating this pizza. So we are going to do the salt first. We need 3/4 teaspoon salt. All right, this is gonna be our measuring spoon. So I'm gonna do the salt not over the bowl in case I make a mistake and a lot of salt goes into it. That would be bad. So I'm gonna do it over the trash can here. But I'm gonna measure out this salt and put that in. So that was our salt. We did 3/4 teaspoon salt. Now we're gonna add our flour. All right, so we need 2 cups of flour. So we have our dry measuring spoon here. We're gonna reach it into this bag. Okay, so you can't see in this bag, it's kind of small, but when you're scooping out dry ingredients, it's gonna get kind of mounded on the top like that. And what we're gonna do is level it. So we are going to take just a butter knife, and we're gonna use the back part that's flat, and we're just gonna scrape right across the top to kind of knock any of that extra flour off because we don't need it. So here's 1 cup, and we're just gonna add that right into the bowl. And we're gonna do another cup. All right, so I'm gonna level it again and add that in. Awesome. So now comes what some people think is the fun part. We're gonna mix it with our hands. So I've already washed my hands really well. If you've been touching a lot of stuff, make sure you wash them again. And if you don't want to get your hands messy, feel free to use like a wooden spoon or something. This morning I tried the whisk. It didn't work well, so I don't recommend that. But we're just gonna kind of start mixing this together. So then, once it's kind of kneaded, you can put it in a nice little ball, which is kind of similar to what we have here. So again, this is what it might look like if you used just all-purpose flour. It might look a little bit different if you did gluten-free flour. But the next step is just gonna be getting some of our plastic wrap. And you're just gonna put this right over our dough. And this is just gonna keep it covered while it rises. So again, that yeast is going to help this dough rise. And so we'll just cover it and put that off to the side. If you guys are at home, this needs to sit for about an hour to 45 minutes to rise. So what it will look like eventually is something more like this. So we might start out with a dough ball about this size, and it's gonna rise to look like that. If it doesn't look exactly like this, that's okay. This one has actually been sitting out for almost 2 hours now, so it's had a little extra time. But we're gonna pretend that our dough is rising right now. I'm gonna rinse some of this dough off my hands, and then we're gonna cut up some vegetables. Awesome. So we, again, if you're gonna be using a knife, make sure that you have an adult with you or helping you out. So we're gonna start by cutting up a green pepper. There's not really a right or wrong way to cut up vegetables. Again, it's just kind of however you want, but I'm gonna cut away from this stem because that is the part I do not want to eat. And I'm gonna just cut around the sides here. I'm just gonna throw that away. If you compost, you can throw that right in the compost. We're gonna just get some of these seeds out of the middle out. You can eat them if you want, but I'll recommend it. Awesome. So then we're just gonna cut these into some strips here. Alice, do you like your peppers larger or smaller on pizzas?
I don't care.
Okay.
How about you?
I like larger chunks. Yep. All right, so we'll stick with that. You can leave them in strips like this, or you can kind of cut them into smaller sections. But we'll get some of these going because I know Alice and I both want these on our pizza. Awesome, we'll put those to the side. Next, we will do some onion. I chose a red onion just because I like red onions a lot. So I'm just gonna cut into this guy here. And I'm not gonna do a lot of onion because it's pretty strong flavor. And it might make me cry, so That'll be exciting. For this, I just took the skin off of the outside. You don't want to eat that outer layer there. And I'm just going to cut this kind of up into smaller pieces. Because again, it's a pretty powerful flavor. So you might not want big chunks of onion on your pizza. Awesome. So that is our onion, which we'll kind of scoop to the side as well. And last is our mushrooms. I like to cut off a little bit of the stem, but if you want to eat that, you can as well. And we'll just kind of slice this.
Jacob wants a
Pretty
supreme,
thin.
a little bit of everything.
Okay, Jacob. Sounds great. So there's a group of us that live here at camp. So Jacob, Ian, Alice, and I all live here at camp. And so today, unfortunately, I will be delivering pizzas to them because they're very close. So just giving them lunch today. Sorry, Linz. All right. So those are our mushrooms. I might do another one. I really like mushroom. Classic Jacob with a supreme. All right, so there we have our vegetables. Again, whatever you want to put on your pizza, more power to you. The wilder, the better, in my opinion. So we have our veggies cut up. This is a good time if you guys are at home to get this done. Another thing that you can do while that dough is rising is preheat your oven. So I'm gonna come over here and preheat our oven. This one. We're gonna set it to 415. So for this oven, we're gonna click bake, and we're gonna turn this temperature up. Perfect, so 415, and we're gonna click start, and we're gonna just let that warm up and get ready to go, and we can come over and start putting our pizzas together. So we'll bring these veggies back off to the side. Clear a little space because, so again, now this is what the dough should look like. It should be risen and a little bit larger, and we are gonna separate it and now form it to make an actual pizza shape. So we are gonna need now our pan that we talked about earlier. If you noticed online, if you saw the recipe yesterday, it called for cornmeal. I actually didn't have any cornmeal today, but if you do have cornmeal, you can kind of sprinkle some on the pan and use that to help make sure the dough doesn't stick. I'm gonna just use a little bit of olive oil today because that'll do pretty much the same thing. So we'll put that on there, kind of smeared around. Hands are clean, we've washed them a lot, so all's good. Yep.
Keith asks if he wanted to make enough for 10 pizzas,
Oh.
that bowl would not be big enough. So could he mix his ingredients into something like a larger, clean food grade bucket?
I would say yes, you could. But if you're gonna make that much pizza, you gotta make sure you double or triple or quadruple all of the ingredients. And that's a lot of math, so more power to you, Keith. But yes, you definitely could do that and add more ingredients to make a lot more pizza. Because this isn't gonna make very much. This will probably make maybe 3 pizzas depending on how big you want them. So we have our dough here and we're just gonna separate it. I'm gonna use this knife and just cut a little chunk of the dough away. And we'll see if this is enough. So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna kind of take this dough and we're gonna form it right onto the pan here. So again, depending on how big you want your pizza, you could do one larger pizza with all of this dough, but if you are at home with some friends or family, you could kind of each make your own pizza so that everybody gets something that they want. So we'll do 2 smaller pizzas on this pan. They should fit. They might not be totally circle, but that's okay. So you're just gonna kind of flatten the dough out. You don't want it too thin and you don't want it too thick. So you just kind of gotta make sure that all throughout the pizza, you're getting it as even as possible so that one part isn't burnt and one part isn't undercooked when it goes into the oven. And this dough is a little bit stretchy, so it'll kind of shrink back down and that's okay. But once you have your crusts ready, you can then decide what to put on them. So we, again, have a couple different sauces here. So I'm gonna show both, and Alice can tell me what she wants on hers. I'm gonna do, oh, my hands are oily. All right, I'm gonna do some of this traditional sauce on one of them. You can decide however much sauce you want, but you wanna remember when you're putting it on here that your pizza, doesn't have to, but it could have a crust if you want it. So I'm gonna not go totally up to the edge and give my pizza a crust. And then we're gonna do pesto on this other one. Uh-oh. My hands are so oily. It's okay. I used my hands. All right. So we are gonna do pesto. Ooh, it smells good. Love ATV. All right, so we're gonna put a little bit of pesto. Alice, how much pesto do you like on your pizza?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Okay, I'm gonna just start with like a
Yeah.
healthy clump. Spread that around. Do you want a little more?
Just like a little, maybe like spread it out a little bit. There you go. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. That's fine.
All right. Perfect. All right, and then we are gonna add our cheese. So this is just regular old mozzarella.
People love pesto.
What's that?
The fans love pesto.
Oh, yeah. Good, glad to hear it. Didn't know I had fans, so exciting. All right, so we are gonna add our cheese. You can use pretty much whatever cheese you want. I just went with the basic mozzarella, but there's dairy-free cheese out there if you need it. Or no cheese if you're not a fan. Strange, but everybody likes their own thing. So we're gonna put a little cheese on here. I'm a big fan of cheese, so no judgment, please. Alice, you want mozzarella cheese on yours?
Oh yeah, I'm a big cheese girl.
All right, that's what I knew that, but just like to ask and double check. All right, so we're gonna get some cheese on these bad boys. Perfect, and then we can add our toppings that we cut up. So I'm gonna do some mushrooms on mine. Alice, what do you want on yours?
Just the vegetables.
All of the vegetables?
Yes, please.
Okay. These mushrooms are pretty big. Thank you. Sometimes it's nice to have a little personal assistant or a sous chef, if you will. Alice is being that for me today. Thank you. So we will just get some of these ingredients on here. Ooh, all right, got some fine onion. All right, I'm gonna add a couple pepperonis to mine. Oh, I didn't add mushrooms on yours. Yep.
Yeah.
I forgot. All right. Now we got some mushrooms on there. And I'm gonna add a couple pepperoni to mine. Because I like pepperonis. And also if you wanna like snack on one while you cook, go for it. Treat yourself. All right, looks good. What do you think, Alice?
I think that those look delicious.
Beautiful. All right, so now our oven is just about preheated. So we are gonna put these in. It takes about 15 minutes to cook, so I'm not gonna entertain you for 15 minutes, but I will take a picture of these when they're done and put it in the comments section so you guys can see how they turned out. But you're gonna put it in there, again, about 15 minutes. You wanna make sure that the crust is cooked. So it should be like a little bit golden brown. The cheese should be melted. The veggies should be kind of crispier. Depends on how you like it, but you can watch and pull it out when you think it's done. But again, around 15 minutes. So that is the fun part of cooking. The less fun, but also super important part is the cleanup. So as you can see, we have made a huge mess today. And somebody's got to go through and clean it up. And no, it's not the adults. They might help you, but you made the mess. You got to clean it up. So I'm going to do that while my pizza cooks for 15 minutes. And then I will go ahead and, like I said, post a picture. Thanks, everyone.
My name is B. Welcome back. So today we're going to learn about some more animals, and we're going to start off with this chicken here. Her name is Chicken Letta. So chickens can lay 1 egg a day, and that is a year that'll be 365 eggs. And so, fun fact about chickens is any way you try to hold them, they'll keep their head straight. So you can twist them all around, and they'll try to keep their head as straight as they possibly can. And so, if you got pet chickens and you want to cuddle with them, you can hold them like this, and their little breastbone will pop up right here, just right, and they'll just calm down. And if you do it for about 10 minutes, they'll eventually fall asleep. So, chickens can learn to recognize their own name and other names of chickens in their flock. They can learn to recognize 100 different faces, human and or chickens. So when y'all come back to camp, she'll probably remember y'all. And chickens are the closest relatives to T-Rexes. See, she's fierce. See that? Oh my. All right. So let me go get y'all another animal, and we'll talk about that one. All right, y'all. So this is a miniature horse. He is the smallest one we have here at camp. As you see, he loves some good grass. Miniature horses come from England. They are what they use for over there. Rumor has it is they had them set outside the castle to make the castle look bigger. So when invaders came in, they'd be like, "That castle's huge. We're gonna get out of here." But then they started using them for to teaching people how to ride. They would use them as mining animals because they'd only have to make mine shafts about that tall, and these animals can pull 2 times their own body weight. And so they get them nice and muscular, big, and they could send them down the mines. Now people are using them for service animals, so like CNI ponies, mobility. So if someone's in a wheelchair, they can get a harness and hook them up to their wheelchair and teach them how to drive, stuff like that. It takes a little bit longer to train them for that sort of stuff, just because horses are more flighty when it comes to that sort of stuff. The horse's closest relative, that is a non-equine, that means horse, is the rhinoceros.
Hi guys, it's Miriam again. B showed you one of our other miniature horses, and I'm going to show you this one. This is Glitter. Glitter was born with cerebral palsy. We get that question a lot when we bring her out. She is one of our main barnyard animals, and a lot of campers ask what is wrong with her legs, and she has cerebral palsy. A fact about miniature horses is a lot of people think they are ponies. They are actually not. They are smaller than ponies. Ponies will be a lot bigger, and they're a lot stronger, so they can carry more weight than miniature horses can. Miniature horses can carry up to 50 pounds, so that is a lot for a miniature horse, but like an average person could not ride a miniature horse. It would have to be a smaller child. Ponies can carry a lot more weight, so they could carry me or somebody bigger than me. They're a lot stronger. So whenever you see a horse like her size, it is most likely a miniature horse. Ponies do not get this small, and ponies are like right in the middle between a horse size and a miniature size. So if you see something like that, it's probably a pony. The way miniature horses were bred was a couple of breeders took their 2 smallest horses and bred them together and got smaller. With every generation, they kept getting smaller and smaller, getting 2 more horses and breeding smaller and smaller, and they were happy with this size. There are smaller miniature horses. They're called a miniature dwarf horse. You can Google it. They are really tiny. A lot of people who have them, they'll keep them inside because they're the size of a dog.
Howdy, y'all. So thanks for watching this video. Keep watching all our other Facebook Live, Instagram Live, all that fun stuff. Tune in next time for more videos from the ranch.
Hey campers, let's take a little break and head to story time.
Howdy, it's camp for all y'all. We have another story time. This here is Slewfoot Sue, and I'm going to be reading Lola Can't Leap. This is by Ellen Leventhal. and the pictures are by Noel Shawa. Lola can't leap. Lola came from a long line of leapers. She longed to leap too, but she had to wait and wait until finally she was just the right age. Looks her happy body. Let's try hopping the fence, Lola, said the leader of the flock. Remember, leaping sheep help babies sleep. No problem, I can do this. Ba-ba, lammies, once I learn to leap, babies will fall fast asleep. Lola tapped her toes, fluffed her fleece, and leaped. Whoa! Lola brushed herself off and joined the flock at the fence. I just need some practice, she told them, but she shuddered. What if my hops turn into flops? Maybe I'm just a singer, not a leaper. If I learned to be more graceful, I could leap, Lola decided. So the next day, Lola enrolled in Madame Blackshear's Ballet Academy. Lambarinas, you must be graceful. Lola, let me see what we can do, what you can do. Up on toes, twirl around. Splat. Lola shuffled out the door. There must be something I can do to get over the fence. I have an idea, Lola said. She tapped her toes, fluffed her fleece, and sang, "Ba-ba, lammies, this is how I'll fly, kick my feet and touch the sky. 1, 2, kerplunk." Lola picked herself up, brushed herself off, and grabbed some wood. What's she gonna do with that wood? She sanded, sawed, then smiled. Lola tapped her toes, fluffed her fleece, and sang, "Ba-ba, lammies, I have some new tricks. I'll get over with these sticks." Looks like she made herself some stilts. Crash! Day after day she practiced. Day after day she tripped and flipped and slipped. Will I ever help the baby sleep? And then it was time. The first lamb jumped, the second lamb hopped, and the third lamb flawlessly flew over the fence. As they soared, Lola sang, "Ba-ba, lammies, look how you leap. You'll help every baby to sleep." Lola stepped up to the fence. Her shanks shook, her tummy turned, her hooves hardly held her. Still, she tapped her toes, fluffed her fleece, and took a running start. Whomp! Lola sighed. I'll never help the baby sleep if I can't leap. She hung her head and began to hobble home. I give up. Trudging along, Lola heard a whimper. Somewhere a baby was awake. Oh, look, Lola's singing. "Ba-ba, baby, you're not counting sheep. Maybe I can help you sleep. Hush now, baby, time to close your eyes. Stars are shining in the skies." Soon, all Lola could hear were crickets chirping, water rushing, and the whisper of the breeze. She glanced at the fence, but she didn't try to jump. She tapped her toes, fluffed her fleece, and smiled. Lola never did get to the other side of the fence, but her songs did. And that's all that mattered. The end. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed Lola Can't Leap. I guess we'll see you again next time for Camp for All story time. Again, all of us here at Camp for All send all of y'all all of our love. Mwah. This is Slewfoot Sue signing out.
What a great story. Well, it looks like we've come to the end of our camp day again. So let's join Alice in the goodbye song. See you next week. Goodbye.
Let's sing a little goodbye song. Are you ready? I'm ready. Here we go. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once, all standing hand in hand, and hear them echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honey bees and snow white turtle doves. Last one, I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company.
Bye.
See you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile.
Au revoir. Adios.
Ciao.